I just pulled into the gas station to fill up my new Trail Boss for the first time ever. There's a couple things I want to show you, and then I'll share with you the strategy I'm going to use to manually track the miles per gallon I'm getting with this truck. I like to do that because I know with my other Chevy vehicles, what the vehicle says isn't always exactly what I get, so I like to track that to keep a close eye on it. So when I took delivery of my truck, it had 5 miles on it and a full tank of gas. I'm now at 361 miles and my tank is pretty much completely empty. I did get the low fuel indicator this morning when I was driving it, a little bit sooner than I expected. I don't recommend actually running your truck on this low of fuel. I'm going to watch that a lot closer. It kind of snuck up on me. The range indicator, I would not trust on this. I know when I took delivery it said it was over 500-mile range. I'm curious to see what it says once I fill up. But when I was driving it this morning, it was around, I think it was 53. I drove for a few miles, it went down to 41, and then turned this indicator light on. The indicator light does have the arrow to show you which side your gas tank is on, which is helpful. It's also shown down by the fuel gauge as well. So with a pretty much completely empty tank, this is a 24-gallon tank, so it is going to be a pretty painful fill up. I knew what I was getting into though. Gas prices were high back when I ordered in March, and they've only gone up. So the main strategy I'm going to use to track miles per gallon is to use the trips. So trip 1 is going to be my current tank. So each time I fill up, I will use this, the number of miles divided by how many gallons I put in my gas tank to determine my miles per gallon. And then trip 2, I'm actually going to just try to never reset and use that for the lifetime of the vehicle. This strategy works pretty well as long as you always remember to reset the trip after you fill up each time, and as long as you always fill the gas tank all the way full. It's a really easy and accurate way to see exactly how many miles you drove on how many gallons of gas. One of the reasons I went with the 5.3 liter engine was because it didn't require or recommend the higher tier fuel. So if I come in the owner's manual and look for fuel, the recommended fuel for the 6.2 liter engine is the 91 octane, and for the 5.3 it's actually 87, and I believe that it can also take up to 15% ethanol. I actually don't plan on going over 10%, so I'll be able to use the little bit cheaper gas with the 5.3 liter. If you do run out of gas with this vehicle, they do give you this little funnel that you'd need to use to be able to fill up your tank with a gas can. Because it's a capless gas tank, you'd have to put this in first and then fill in through here. It came with the truck in this little plastic bag, and I just stored inside the glove box. All right, the tank's now full. Let's fire it up and check out a couple things. So this time the range actually says 402, which seems a lot more reasonable than over the 500. I did end up putting in, it was 22.148 gallons. So I actually had almost 2 gallons left, even though the thing said low. So now what I will do is I'll take trip 1 miles, which is, let me pull up my calculator, 361, and divide that by 22.148. And I got just a hair over 16 miles to the gallon. So that's a little bit actually better than that what they're saying, but it did have 5 miles on it when I got it, and they probably filled it up right before I gave it to me. So I'm thinking that 5.8 is actually pretty accurate, which is surprising. So to use this method, I do need to reset this each time. So I do need to remember each time to reset this. So I'll just push in on my thumb, and then I can go over and reset it. And now I'm all set for the next trip. Next time I fill up, I'll do the same. I'll look at how many miles are in here and divide that by how many gallons I put in the truck. The truck is advertised 13 to 17 miles per gallon with a 15 average. But I will say my first tank was definitely not what my typical usage will be with this truck. Most of the usage will be highway driving, and I would say probably only about 100 of those 360 plus miles were actually on the highway. And I haven't towed yet with this. I'm really interested to see how it's going to do towing. We wanted to put 500 miles on it before we did any towing, and I actually haven't even used cruise control yet. I really just wanted those first 500 miles to get the engine completely broken before I started using any of those. I also spent some time just with the vehicle on but not running. As I played around with the settings and stuff, a lot of the vehicle information and settings you can't change unless the vehicle's on. So I definitely lost some miles per gallon there as well. My next challenge will be attempting to wash the windshield. This truck sits up a lot higher than my other vehicles, and I'm hoping I can use the step assist on the side to actually reach all the way into the middle. So I was able to just barely reach without using the step assist at all. So I will be tracking probably the first few thousand miles of this truck really closely to get miles per gallon. Please give this video a like. I will be releasing more truck videos, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.